Did you make a New Year's resolution? Research has shown that the second Friday in January is called Quitter's Day. That's because many people have abandoned those resolutions by then. So let's have resolve instead of a resolution. Stay tuned to learn the difference. Hi, it's the Urban Lady Prepper. How did you celebrate the coming of 2025? Was it with a toast of champagne? Did you FaceTime with family or friends and screamed Happy New Year at each other? Was it with a couple of bullets to the sky? No, I don't advocate that kind of thing. Or were you asleep by 10 p.m. on December 31st? No matter what you did or how you feel about it, 2025 is here. One thing that always comes up every single year is the idea of having a New Year's resolution. The anticipation of these resolutions results in an onslaught of gym membership offers, diet plans, and other things to make you spend money on self-improvement, because that's what all those resolutions are for, right? Well, as they say, what goes up must come down. And just as the ball dropped to welcome the new year, all those great intentions of sticking to our resolutions tend to crash like the Hindenburg. Quitter's Day was chosen as the second Friday in January because many people had abandoned those resolutions by then, and Quitter's Day this year falls on January 10th. I stopped making New Year's resolutions because they were the same every year, and I was usually upset with myself for not making a dent in them by the time the snow melted. It's not that I didn't want to start the year with enthusiasm and make that quote-unquote fresh start. It's just that for the same reasons I couldn't achieve them before, would be the same reasons I probably wouldn't achieve them again. It wasn't because of a lack of effort or that I never really meant to do it. I always did. But what was more painful than not getting the results I wanted from the resolutions was the disappointment I felt. So once I hit 50, I knew it was time to be real with myself and ask if I would do it or not. I'd rather treat any self-improvement project as a work in progress that may take longer than 1 year than feel that crushing feeling of failure when I don't achieve it within 12 months, no matter how unrealistic. The flip side is that if I achieved the resolution without even trying at another time during the year, for some reason it was anticlimactic. So the failure became more impactful than any success, and that's backward. As much as I harp on having the proper mindset, it applies not just to prepping, but also to self-improvement. If you don't have an active plan, don't give yourself grace, and aren't realistic, then you'll have a harder time being prepared when things get difficult. Therefore, it's better to have resolve than to make a resolution. So, what's the difference? A resolution is a specific decision or commitment to do something, often used in the context of a goal or change you want to make, while having resolve refers to a strong determination or firmness of purpose to carry out that decision and see it through, implying a more active and ongoing commitment to action. Using that explanation, it's clearer that the words aren't nearly as similar as we thought. Having a resolution, a specific decision or commitment, is more passive and thoughtful than having resolve, which has an almost aggressive, visceral component. Resolutions often seek the spark. Resolve already has it. I'm a visual person, so to me, resolve brings to mind someone determined to make something happen with their heels dug into the ground, fists balled, brows furrowed, ready to spring into action. When someone says, New Year's resolution, I picture someone sitting on the sofa, holding that last drink, eating that last slice of cake, and smoking that last cigarette, all of which they vowed to quit and probably won't. So, how do we get there? How do we go from passive to active? Folks tend to overdo it on the self-help media, which I'm not going to talk too badly about because hopefully that's why you're here listening to me. But we must revisit why we need this resolve instead of how to get it. We must turn the want to into a have to, and then inspiration isn't required. My first husband told me a story he heard when he was young. He said that a turtle was sitting by the road, and while he was sitting there, a rabbit came racing past with a fox hot on his tail. The turtle asked the rabbit, "Are you going to make it?" And the rabbit replied, "I gotta make it." The urgency of resolve is the rabbit running for its life, instead of trotting to a carrot that won't be nearly as significant when he gets it. I'll share a personal example. For most of us, our resolutions are generally about our appearance and health, possibly both. I've been overweight for 90% of my life. Every year, I made the resolution that I was going to lose weight. I've been making that resolution probably since I was a teenager. When did I lose the most weight? In 2024, when I dropped over 30 pounds. I haven't dropped nearly that much in that many years. I didn't make a resolution to do it. The difference was the doctor telling me that I was pre-diabetic. As I recounted in an earlier podcast, the difference was realizing that I couldn't pick up my dog because I had lost my strength and muscle tone. When I would get winded when I went up a large staircase. With unfavorable test results staring me in the face, I resolved that I would lose the weight and regain my strength. Not because I thought I would become an Instagram model or that it might be easier for me to get a date. I did it for much deeper reasons. I want to live a long and healthy life. I don't want to place limitations on it because of something I could get control of. I want to be there for my parents. I have an awesome stepdaughter who made me a nana, and she's about to make me one again. I want to see them grow up. I was, and still am, running for my life. While my day gig is great, I rely on the ACA, the Affordable Care Act, or Obamacare, for my medical care. I may lose that this year. I can't afford to be ill or have complications with my health brought about by a lack of action. It was a step up from being upset when I saw a picture of myself to, if I don't, all the things on my bucket list, all the wonderful events that I want to see and be a part of, I might not get to do them. That urgency is getting me to my ultimate goal, not trying to compete with the visual or get someone else's approval. Those two things are fleeting, often unachievable or unsustainable. Seeing those medical test numbers go down, seeing the decreasing number on the scale, and doing tasks that have become laborious gave me a much deeper satisfaction than checking off a to-do item on a resolution list or feeling that I have to split hairs about it if I don't hit the mark exactly. So, use resolve to be hyper-focused on yourself. Humans, especially women, are pressured to always consider the other people before themselves. And that's not really fair. Barring neglect and actual harm, if you've always been a person to put yourself last, you have to understand that until you put yourself first, it'll be hard to reach any target. Even if you reach it, you won't have the mental or emotional bandwidth to truly appreciate it because that energy you expended wasn't for you. For any objective to be reached, whether it's just a kernel of thought or something that's been fully planned out, you have to stay in that lane and not be guilted or shamed into putting that aside for others, especially if you know what you're seeking to achieve will benefit not just you, but maybe those very people who are discouraging you. Think of that mom who's sacrificing sleep or a social life while she works for that degree that gets her out of that low-paying job, even though people told her she wasn't smart enough, and what about this or that. Be her. Until you make that stand, that happiness you seek will remain elusive. Remember that disappointment stings, regret is painful, and being a martyr is exhausting and often unappreciated. Deal with your issues so you don't continue to fall into the same mental traps that kept you from succeeding before. If that means you need to change your routine, the people you hang out with, the places you go, the media you consume, or even where you live, then do that. You may be sick of hearing the expression, insanity is doing the same things over and over and expecting a different result. But where's the lie in that? Make the changes and seek your truth. Put your gas mask on first. So now that it's clearer what the difference is between making a resolution and having resolve, let's resolve to not care about what people think that energy is for. Let's get real. We all say we don't care what other people think, but we do. We care about those compliments, and we care about being liked and being a good person. We care about the reposts, the clicks, and the attention we get because of the dopamine hit. It's a chemical thing that's difficult for us to avoid these days. But we need to mean it. We must take to heart the expression, someone else's opinion of me is not my business. You need to mean business with what you're living for. Someone else's expectations should not be your goal. If you want to start that new job that other folks don't think fits you, just go for it. If someone disagrees with a life decision you know in your heart is right for you, follow through. If your belief system no longer resonates with you and you want to make a change, do that. If you have health goals, how you achieve them is not their concern. You'll be judged no matter what choice you make. The important thing is you know what you need to do to get where you need to go. Because if you're running for your life, that future you see for yourself, that is your vision. To live based on the opinions of others with their expectations, prejudices, fears, shortcomings, and failures are guaranteed to give you that shoulda, coulda, woulda feeling instead of remembering your purpose and doing things that will get you there. That will make your heart sing. You will become the spark you were looking for when your goal was changed from a wish, a mere resolution, to resolve. If you're kind of all over the place and unsure how to prioritize, it will help to drill down to the most important thing you want to achieve. That thing that will make all the other things better if you hit that mark. Be realistic about how long it will take. Celebrate yourself when you have breakthroughs. And be kind to yourself when you fall short, because beating yourself up too hard may cause you to quit. Professor Emma Parkhurst from Utah State University wrote a great article a couple of days ago, and I'll put the link to it in the podcast description, where she suggests the SMART process. She uses the word SMART as an acronym for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. For those who work better with visuals, write it down where you'll see it while working on your goal. Stick it on your vision board if you made one. And when you begin to feel frustrated, it will remind you that it's a process that won't be perfect. Yes, here comes another expression you're probably sick of. Progress, not perfection. On tough days, make that your mantra. But rest when you need to. Reach out to your support system. The ones that want you to succeed will want to be there for you and hopefully keep you in check and on target. Let them cheer you on when you hit a new level, and let them lift you up on days when you want to pack it in. You are worth the effort. Resolve requires discipline. Resolutions need motivation. The Canadian author J.R. Rim wrote, "Discipline is for professionals. Motivation is for amateurs." So let's get professional in 2025. Let's have resolve with a dash of grace and leave old resolutions on the floor like the streamers and confetti from New Year's Eve. Thanks for listening. Until next time, this is the Urban Lady Prepper signing off. I hope that I've given you some things to think about as you go through the upcoming week. I upload a new podcast every Sunday. Visit my website, urbanladyprepper.com, where I post a new article every Wednesday and Friday. While there, sign up for my weekly newsletter, which contains information that usually isn't on the podcast or website. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and show your support with a donation or buy some Urban Lady Prepper gear. It helps me continue to grow and provide even more content. Join me on the socials. I look forward to hearing from you. Stay safe, stay sharp, and be ready.